This is not your normal discussion where we talk all about the hard topics uncensored. This is not your normal discussion. This is not your normal discussion.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Not Your Normal Discussion. I am your host, Queen Pedii.
I'm Nina. Hello.
I'm Suge.
I'm Tristan. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, and I hope everyone has had a great holiday. So we're going to start with the Ahmaud Arbery trial, which today we got the verdict of everybody is found guilty. And that,
Amen.
yes,
Yeah.
amen.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna be honest, like when I was standing in the kitchen, like waiting for them to come through and tell the verdict, I was like, they gonna find him guilty. Like I already knew because like seeing the video and seeing how they chased him down like he was a freaking dog, like that's disgusting as fuck. And like how if you can look at that video and be like, oh yeah, they were threatened and they had to defend themselves, you are stupid. Like anybody that's still running around saying that, you're just ignorant and you're racist. And you need to stay on the island that you're on right now. But the whole trial was just crazy to me because like the defense attorney was talking about how he didn't want the black pastors to be sitting in the courtroom with them. And I'm like, the community can come in and watch a trial. There's nothing illegal about that. You are only feeling threatened because this person is of like a higher, I'm not going to say higher class, but like, you know that this person is an important person in the community of the person that you are trying to make seem like is a criminal. So. And this chicken wings or fried chicken comment and talk about the man's toes and his mama having to watch the video. I just it's so much, but I do appreciate the judge. He did check them whenever they were like racist and stuff. So I'm just happy for what came out of it. That's all. But during it was a whole mess, but I'm happy at the outcome. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be fucked up me saying this.
I'm sorry.
Whatever amount of time they get is not gonna be worth it. Because
they're gonna die in jail.
That's not always a bad thing.
I'm gonna need them to die in jail.
That's not always a bad thing. They can they have family and all. They're gonna live very comfortably for the rest of their lives in this federal penitentiary that is not going to be amongst real killers, and they're going to be put away somewhere nice and cushy. They're going to have a lot of money to spend on commissary, on comfortability. They're still going to live pretty cool lives, all things considered. This young brother who did nothing. He's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His family will never have peace. He will never be able to see another day. He won't be able to, if he had children, watch them grow up or have children. He won't be able to experience life anymore. Like I'm happy that what people consider justice has been served, that they have been convicted. But if they don't get anything short of death, doesn't matter, because they're still going to be able to live, to thrive. You can still make a lot of money from prison. A lot of money. They're still going to be okay. That family is not. I've said this before and I'll say it again. These type of things, they sound like wins for us, but they're not. They're placations. That's all it is. It's just a placation. Okay, yeah, look, we'll give you those 3 white dudes because we didn't give you Kyle Rittenhouse. So y'all can shut the fuck up for a while. That's all that is.
No, that's
I'm still going.
like you said. I hope they do rot in jail. I hope it's not a quick death. Because it's just ridiculous. Just because there's been some robberies around,
Arbery.
and you're gonna take it upon yourself to just find a black. We do not all look the same. I am sick of people saying that about. It's not just our race; they say it, but a lot of other races do. Just because you're not, everybody looks different. We are not all the same. We got different colors. We got different shades. We got different undertones.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you saw a black person run down the street doesn't mean anything. But it's like me saying, "Oh, I saw a white man drive my car." It doesn't mean it's my neighbors or anything. But I'm glad that they all got found guilty. I do kind of feel like they're trying to get the attention off of the other case and turn it more towards this case. That we'll see this more often. But they need to rot. They should not be able to get out.
Yeah.
I hope they have the world's highest whatever, and they go to one of the top worst prisons. See how it feels to be treated like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really wild at the end of the day that like we have to like celebrate this almost like a Super Bowl win, just in the sense that like they win all the time when it's them. Like just with Kyle already getting to meet the president off of beating his case. Meanwhile, this family will never be made whole. And are they going to get the same support that the McMichaels are probably getting right now, or that Kyle got for his bail and everything like that? Like, Kyle could likely become like a whole congressional intern, a senator one day. Who knows? Just running off this shit.
You better not.
I hope not.
But
You
the
better not.
possibility is there, and just
This is America.
yeah, this is America, and just off of like Suge said, it does feel kind of like it's undisputable that it would be wild that like you can chase a whole nigga down and try and run him off the road and shoot him, and then make the argument that you were defending yourself because your homeboy has a bad hip who decided to get in the fucking truck in the first place to go help you chase this nigga down just on some see what my neighbors is doing.
You
Like,
ran away from me.
the lynching energy is still alive and real in America, and the self-deputizing. Like, if you even look back at something like the Tulsa race riots, which is funny to call something a race riot when like is one group trying to defend themselves and another group like coming at them and trying to like murder the fuck out of them. But one of the reasons those riots got so bad was because the state literally deputized like white people to just get their weapons and go out and handle shit for themselves. And white people were still continuing this energy. And is what a lot of these cases from the most recent Trayvon Martin with George Zimmerman being white passing and so wanting to be a cop and police his neighborhood, to Kyle Rittenhouse, who was inspired by cops and wanted to go travel across state lines to police some areas. To these guys, like, oh, there's robberies in the area. And something as innocent as you jogging and you see a house being made, like, and you go and check out that house, which is something most people would do. Like, you never hear no reports of him stealing anything. He's on his job. And they take that as a license to even listen to the defense give his closing case of like, we respect, that we respect that the family is taking this as a moment to rejoice and everything like that. We respect that, but we're still gonna be appealing. It's just the idea that they could even try and fight for lower sentences in the future is wild to me. And it's like, yes, it's the justice system, but we have to acknowledge that our justice system is very much a stalwart of like white supremacy and all that shit.
I have a question. Why is it okay for them to take the law into their hands and not call the police?
It's not.
I mean, this case kind of shows
But that's
that
what it seems.
It is what they
It
did.
seems like the other
Zimmerman.
case, they still
we
the guy went over to a whole different cityscape under the age to have a gun, went over the state line with an illegal gun, and that's okay. But and then down here, they're going for. They thought they could fight it with self-defense.
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna say this. I respect them for their defense on him. It is the most generic white defense ever. I respect them for going for it. Yeah, there's robberies in the neighborhood. He's black. The people that were robbed in the neighborhood is black. We thought it was him. That's some white people shit.
Even 911
But there's
operators
different
do
ways
not
to
confront them.
No, but listen what I'm saying. We can't have it both ways. They didn't get away with it.
I know.
They were going to because no one
I know.
said anything. But when someone said something, they didn't get away with it. The issue isn't that people.
Yeah, because when the guys did, he recorded it and posted up.
That's how they got caught. But it took
Wait, so
months.
hold up.
It took months after that recording came out for them to actually get arrested for it.
So they put that shit up on Facebook?
Yeah. And it was on
they thought they was doing something. They're like, "What?
They got posted on
a nigga. Like what?
They got posted on Facebook in like February, but they didn't get charged with anything until like April or June.
And they probably wouldn't have if not for all of the protests over.
Yeah, it was only because everything else.
Taylor. They probably would have. It probably would have been just a old good old town. Like, hey man, chill out next time, boy.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. They didn't get away with it. It's not that they got away with it. Again, that's the issue. It's that there is no punishment. Like you had the intention when you saw that boy, that young brother, that young black man. You had the intention of killing him. You didn't have the intention of trying to apprehend him because he's a suspect in a fucking case. You have the intention on killing you a nigga.
Yeah. I mean, like, y'all riding around with your guns.
But you
loaded and ready.
And they got convicted. And that is a good thing. But it's, you know what we focus on, and that's our issue with black people. For us to be so tied into the criminal system, we know nothing about it. We only focus on the fact that they're convicted. We don't really focus on understanding the statutes of the law to see what they could possibly get.
Yeah. No,
because murder in every state is different, but they should actually be charged with capital murder. They shouldn't just be getting a murder of a premeditated or a murder one. Murder one is premeditated, if you don't know, which is normally life. Murder two is a spontaneous death, like you shoot someone by accident, you didn't have the intention on doing it. But capital murder is the act of murder one while performing another criminal act. So if you rob someone and you had intentions on killing them when you robbed them, that is capital murder. That is automatic death penalty in whatever state holds the death penalty, automatic life without parole. They should be facing capital murder. And they're not. They're getting some shit that they could probably do 20 years maximum.
Well, hopefully this judge seems like he really didn't have time for all the BS, to be very honest. So I'm hoping that he'll give them all, like every single count that they got, just max it out. So they don't never come home. They don't deserve to be home with their families. They don't deserve to have Christmas and Thanksgiving ever again. But yeah, so like I was saying, they took away someone who, somebody from their family who won't be able to ever have a Christmas, a Thanksgiving, a birthday, Valentine's Day, all of that stuff. So yeah, y'all don't deserve that. And if you do have a Christmas in prison, it's not gonna be fun. especially if, I think they're gonna put them, they need to put them in general population. I don't want them to put them somewhere like solitary confinement. They should be around all the
lawyers,
types of people that they hate. So they can
them lawyers is
every
gonna make sure that they get put in a nice and cushy place. You gotta remember all that shit that go on behind them closed doors.
I wish that they would take them somewhere where they will just be up there with all the killers and thugs and shit. And I mean the actual killers and thugs, not the ones that was accused of it. But like they need to get their ass whooped every day for the rest of their lives.
No, they'll still join the Aryan Brotherhood just to protect their ass.
Nah, they won't even do that because
They can't do that.
I think one of them is a cop or something. One of them's a cop, right?
Yeah, one of them was a cop. He's a retired
Yeah,
cop.
they're not gonna join the Aryan. They're gonna be seen. Now, if that cop gets on General Pop, most likely he's the one that's not. And the McMichaels have money. That's the only reason I say that. But if they were to go to General Pop, that cop would have no chance. They do not do cops on purpose. No chance.
Yeah.
And he's the soft and squishy one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be a ball of fun.
And his son's soft is his son is going to be somebody's boyfriend. He gonna
They
be
know this.
boyfriend. He gonna be
I'm
somebody.
telling you.
He gonna be
See,
somebody.
this is why, controversial opinion, I believe that they should bring back firing squads. Yes. I'm a firm believer that, like, you know why death row doesn't work? Because people like this aren't scared of a needle. They're not
They
scared
get
of
a
going
nice
to
way
sleep.
to die. No, I wanted to cut their neck
Yeah.
off with their
Yeah,
head.
y'all
Oh,
hold on, wait.
You decided to run down a black man and kill him? Cool, well, guess what? We're gonna drop you in these woods, run you down, and kill you like the animal you are. That's your death penalty. That's your death penalty.
Predator. Let's do some predator.
Oh, Predator! Oh my God!
This is the same country
y'all
that
was on a video
says,
game, huh?
this is the same country that says that they do not allow cruel and unusual punishment, but enact in all of their prison and jail systems cruel and unusual punishment. Just give in to what you are. Cool. You want to be a criminal, you want to do stuff like that, but we'll treat you exactly how you treat. You die how you kill.
See, with the whole thing that I have a problem with like death squads and shit like that is that what do you do when a person's innocent and you've killed them?
You're not for the death penalty, but like especially with white racists in the system that caters to white racists, I definitely can fuck with the urge for that. It's just we know in this country, being a white supremacist country, who's the niggas who's gonna most likely be looking like they're in Al Qaeda videos getting beheaded? It's gonna be niggas. It's gonna be a bunch of white men just like little white girl.
See, you know what you're doing, Tryst? But see, again, this goes back to a point I made last week. We need to go to war. We're last to the war.
Yeah.
You see how that thought process is? Oh man, the white people aren't gonna like that. That's the point. We take it to them and we change the way that these laws are made, not through protest, put your hands up and please don't shoot. You run into the office and you take the papers. The same thing that white people did.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah, but
fucking
what
thing.
did they actually accomplish running up in the building and taking papers?
You know what they accomplished?
Nothing.
Fear. They made them,
We was laughing at their ass.
no, they made them politicians scared. They may have laughed it off on camera, but them politicians behind closed doors,
They
they're
didn't
now
get anything out of it but jail sentences.
they're folding to way more laws that are
So
just
the
blatantly
only
racist
people that
than
are
they ever
running
have.
around being up their butt are the ones that were already up their butt. So there's really no like change in like anything that they've done.
There's no change
That
for
were already-
it's
and
no
then some
positive
people on
change
this
for us.
side have gone to the other side because they're like, nah, this is a little wild now.
I will say that like protests are just a start, but we can't keep doing protests against violence. We gotta,
Nobody ever said
especially coming unarmed to protest. We gotta start coming armed to protest. We might have to start living armed in our life like it's the Wild Wild West, because we are in the Wild Wild West. We wanna just hope and pray that like shit is progressively getting better. But like all around the world, like money is how we're talking about is showing that like there is an unhinged quality that people are not talking about, and the people who benefit the most from it are the people who are already under systems that is looking to benefit them over other oppressed groups. So if we're in an oppressed group, if you're a minority, you might need to carry a weapon more often than not, and just recognize that like you're living in dangerous ground, but like you're living in dangerous ground, so you just have to move accordingly. And like it's the importance of organizing, it's the importance of protecting within our own community so that like people don't take advantage of those who are without within our community, but recognizing that like while we have shit to fix within ourselves, there is a whole system that's an enemy to us on top of all this other shit that we have to be mindful to and stop playing nice with them.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite quotes is this one that says, if you strike at the king, you must kill the king. So recognize if you're trying to go up against a system that wants to kill you, you have to be ready at the end of the day. Not saying go out your way, do wild shit, but just we have to have a collective mindset that like all the protesting, all the shit that we're trying to do is good, but it's gonna call upon us to even more because they're gonna push back against that as violently as
We
they
just
can.
need to connect more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this time of age, with all the technology that we have, we need to combine our efforts because at this moment we have like the major cities doing the protestation. We need everybody to
Yeah.
join.
Definitely.
That way they can see us in numbers and be like, oh, hold on. This too many people.
Too many people doing what? Saying no?
I mean,
Saying no, enough. If they gotta fight, they
yeah.
gotta fight. But just to
They're
show like
gonna look, you know, they're gonna look at you and say, all of those people, they're gonna look at you. They're just holding up signs. They don't have no guns. No. Shoot them. They're uprising. They're now officially terrorists to the country. Shoot them.
Yeah.
If we come with our hands up,
already
holding
shot
signs,
people with
saying please.
the rubber balls. So yeah.
You said what?
I said they were already shooting people with rubber balls and kidnapping their ass during
That's
the
the
riot.
point. You're just holding up signs saying please stop being mean to us.
No, and
Sometimes
that's why like once it, because I was watching the first riot like that was up there in was it Pennsylvania? Was it Pennsylvania? Oh
Which
shit,
one?
no,
I think so.
Minnesota. My bad, my brain. All right, so the first one when they like actually burnt the police station, I watched that one like all the way.
that was good.
That was like,
should've
yes, you could go through
capitalized.
my Twitter right now and try to go all the way back to that, and you'll see me say, yes, they're burning it down. Like, I was like, okay, we are doing something. Like, I'm not against, you know, going harder. I was just saying, oh Lord, like the January 6th people just, they didn't get shit done. All they did was destroy government property and shit all over walls. That's what the fuck.
And 3 people died.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's right.
And they were shooting inside.
Yeah.
And
but they were there to kill the vice president. So they were there to commit an assassination.
Think
They
about
didn't get
that.
that done.
They scared them people in there. They made them.
If it's a whole bunch of fucking white people coming through talking about some MAGA, no.
Even with Joe Biden, listen, even with Joe Biden in office, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they're probably telling him? Because Joe Biden has passed a lot of laws that are counterproductive to what he promised us.
Oh yeah, I know.
So
that's all I got.
now look, so
all I got.
Do you not think that that's a direct correlation because of January 6th? The people outside of the president that's in there are telling him, look, did you just see what they did January 6th to a person they fuck with? They don't like you. You sit there and you don't give in to their demands, they might burn this place down. But that fear set in with them because they have never been in a situation like that.
Yeah, I think the good and bad of January 6th is on one hand, they recognized what the people that they recognize as contingency of people that will not fucking take the blue pill of the matrix, but at the same time, especially when they're like riding over shit like, you know, what the election and their nigga not winning despite everything he did to try and win at the last minute, with the mailboxes and all that other shit. And they, on the other hand, can easily demonize that side. And so it's for us to recognize what we can take away from January 6th and like, hey, if oftentimes when people are protesting against the cops and the cops actually fall the fuck back, it's because those niggas are armed. It's because those niggas like are like standing their ground and like, listen, you can't take all of us. Meanwhile, at like Black Lives Matter protests, cops are willing to like fucking run over motherfuckers in their cars.
Yeah.
Because like we can't conceive that they would go that fucking ham. So switching off of Ahmaud Arbery's murder case and the successful conviction there, we have this another case that's brewing in New York with Nathaniel Terry. Now, we still know the name of the unidentified victim in this horrific arson/homicide, but we do know that Nathaniel Terry basically lit a man on fire who was unconscious, laid out, and in the stairwell of his building. And I'm sure he thought to himself it was probably a prank or a joke, but the man ended up being engulfed in fire, his whole body. And so he didn't suffer from his wounds. And my man's currently being charged right now. But I see this evil act as kind of just a microcosm of how our society basically perpetuates violence against the homeless every day. Because he wouldn't have felt comfortable lighting a whole human being on fire that he didn't even know if it wasn't a homeless man that he was trying to force away and also force him out of his building, out of the stairwell of his building. And that's because there's already a war on the homeless. Just like with the Ahmaud Arbery murder case, those men wouldn't have felt comfortable hopping in their trucks and driving behind and shooting at somebody who's Black that they just assume is tied to robberies in the neighborhood if there wasn't already a war against Blackness in this country. And so, you know, I've seen, even with helping the different mutual aid groups, I've seen them try and stop the work that mutual aid groups do for the homeless. I've seen them like go up to the homeless and basically rob them of their things and throw it out like it's trash and like they're trash. I've seen people, like I've talked to people who don't like the idea of shelters because the security guards there either ignore their requests, search them like they're the police, like fucking tell them what to do. And it's all in the name of beautifying the city while it's being gentrified. And we have what, 600,000 homeless people in this country? That's like more than the city of Baltimore. So we need to start looking to other countries that actually do like real work to actually do something about homelessness and actually solve it rather than just shuffle people around. But I'm gonna pass it off to y'all.
I would like to, this is a weird case. And it's kind of personal for me because was an almost exactly, almost the exact same case in Northeast Washington, D.C.
I think I remember.
I knew that young brother that set that homeless man on fire.
Damn.
He's been in my house. He used to hang with my little brother. And they didn't speak a lot about the case. It was open and shut. But he told that young brother told the police he did it because he heard that man was a demon. That comes from mental disorders and drug abuse. He was smoking PCP. Here in this case, my idea, regardless of how he felt about the homeless man being in his building, or if it was just a random isolated incident, for him to go that route, we have to look at like what is his mental state in something like this, because there's many different things you could have done, and for you to directly choose that, not to be all again conspiracy. I'm not Batman, Sherlock Holmes, but it's for me to know that case and then to see this one.
Yeah,
that is way too similar because the dude woke the dude up and everything. The young brother I know woke the dude up on 8th Street in Northeast by the Popeyes, woke him up, threw gasoline on him and set him on fire and watched it. And this man seems to have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think the war on homelessness is between the general public and homeless. So I wouldn't say that this shows how there is a war on homelessness, that I'll have to disagree with you on that one, Tris. What I think this is more of a man finally giving into his mental issues. Because you don't just wake up, and no matter how mad you are, you don't just wake up and say, I'm gonna set this person on fire. Something has to be there. There has to be some underlying factor that even makes you go to that realm of thought, because typically normal people don't think like that. You have a barrier in your brain that prevents you from going into that dark place. People with mental disorders do not. That's a dark place to go. I think that he would have done that. I think that was just the person that he chose that day.
Well,
I
the
think if
reason I
that
say it's
homeless man
war-
would not have been there, somebody else would be on fire instead of him.
Maybe. The reason I say it's a war on homelessness is in the same, like, we already criminalize homeless, and we already, basically, one of the reasons there's so much police is to deal with like addiction issues and to deal with respond to mental health issues, and also to deal with the homeless, on top of like how that also plays in criminalizing Black people who may not have the resources to deal with a lot of things. But also, like, I'm sure we've all been out and we've seen white people, especially, like, even niggas too, but even white people dancing around the homeless while they're, panhandling, trying to make money, and basically just kind of mocking them without even giving anything.
Never.
I've seen that just last week over here in New York.
Go ahead.
So for me, in our area, we have a lot of homeless people. They even just built a brand new shelter for them. My thing is, nobody should burn nobody alive like that. That's just plain out wrong. It smells, but it's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that to anybody. We are more intelligent and beyond that. That should be. But around here, the way they treat homeless people is kind of it's sketchy, because some people pretend to be homeless because it is almost like a 2,000 is about $200,000 business.
Homeless people.
So
How do you pretend to be homeless?
there are some.
I don't say it's rich, because
No,
I mean, there are clearly
there
people
is
who are
some
amazing,
regular
but there are
people.
people,
There's some people around here that pretend to be homeless
Mhm.
and panhandle because they get paid. You get money. I even had somebody who asked me if they could borrow my kids so they could get more money. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So,
I've stayed
I've
stayed in a shelter that there was a guy there in that shelter. He made, I would say on average, I've seen him in his pocket $10,000 a day. Drove a Ford Mustang, had jewelry on, designer clothes, didn't steal, none of that. You know what he did all day? His demeanor was so charismatic. He panhandled and did like little, street vendor little tricks and just got money off of people. And I'm talking like when I was in shelter, I was like 19 years old. And when I say like at 19, it almost made me understand his logic. He said, well, I'm not going to go get a place. I'm not going to spend rent when I can get 3 meals a day. I can sleep here every night for sure. If I want to go have sex, I can go buy a hotel. I have enough money to do it. And I make so much money and I never have to pay taxes. These homeless people have a bag on them. It's the drug addicts that don't. The homeless have money. They just don't have a home.
Well,
and then not only that, but my biggest thing is like I had I'm gonna say real homeless, but I did have a real homeless guy come in, and he's like, I just got into town. I walked from another city to here. All I'm asking is, do you guys have any leftover meat that I could have? Some stale bread and some water. And he's like, I'll even work for it. And I'm like, you gonna work for some old meat, and he's like, yeah, I'll sweep for you. Tell me what you want me to do. Do you guys need something to fix? I would do it because I'm hungry, but I know that I have to earn it. And I'm like, dude, you can have my meal. Here, go. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because
You're nicer than me.
I started places you're not allowed to give out food because of
Other
liability.
places,
That's
they like,
stupid.
I've talked to people who couldn't even get a
Like
banana
fast
off
food.
at some places.
But
And I don't want to get too deep into the, reading who is the fake and who is the real, especially if you're giving $1, $5, $10. Like, if you got scammed out of $10, you got scammed out of $10. Like, especially on some one-time shit. But especially when you're talking about not being in the same energy of like Bill Clinton back in the day with the welfare queens and demonizing an entire section, because that's usually who ends up being demonized when we start trying to pick which one is the real one.
Mhm.
But
I
I
give
would
gift
go to like
cards.
policies, like other countries, like, and I always bring up other countries because in the US we're too busy chanting like we're number one while we're living in hell. But in
We
Finland,
can't
for
even afford
example,
our living.
yeah, like in Finland, for example, they have something called Housing First, and they were actually able to drop their homeless population by like 40%, like from since the Great Recession. And like they only have like 5,000 people who are homeless in their country. That's like less than like 0.1% of their population. And they don't even
Is
have like
homelessness a business for them?
Hmm?
Is homelessness a business for them?
A business.
Is it a business for them? Do they make money off
No,
of
so basically with Housing First, but think about why it would be a business here, because the only way to survive for most people is like there are people with homes who have 1, 2 jobs and side hustles. So like a hustle is a way of life. Like, but with Housing First over there, they give you permanent housing first, and then you have the options of other types of assistance that are like tailored to your needs. That's not forced upon you versus like what we do here in the States, which still continues this whole you gotta be good enough, basically one of the good ones, either get housing, get different types of assistance. You have to basically prove that you're working on your addiction or your mental health problems or anything like that. And then even
Like-
Brazil, under President Lula, back at the same time that Clinton was over here doing welfare reform, in Brazil under the Workers' Party, they did something called a family stipend. And we're talking about it lifting about 40 million people out of poverty and cutting back on things like domestic abuse, suicide, postpartum depression, even like child labor and child tooth decay and everything like that. So there are ways we can actually address people's basic needs and actually do something about homelessness. But like, if we only focus on like stopping people from scamming, especially in a country where we give like 70 billion a year to people to like fund, like the wealthiest people in this country get like 70 billion a year off of like tax deductions related to their mortgage and everything like that. Hey, what's up? You want to go down over there? And I'm in the hall, don't mind me. But yeah, we have no problem giving billions of dollars every year to the richest in this country based on their houses, while people who don't have houses get like a third of that money, if not a fifth, towards actually improving their lives. And if we've stopped trying to find who's a scammer and like joined organizations that actually like did work with the homeless and like provided for their needs, I think we would have a healthier country, and it would eliminate a
I
lot
don't
of
think they
the
should
lines of
just
oppression.
work with just like around here, Section 8 just opened up after I believe it's 2 or 3 years of it being closed.
Mm,
And they only opened up for 1 day.
wow.
Yes, because so many people need help. Even not just the homeless, but also people that are barely making any kind of money, or they're making enough money, but not enough to really live on and
Mm.
pay all their bills.
Well,
So
can y'all? Okay, so when I first read the article, let me go back to the article real quick,
Yeah.
because I don't know why I thought the white man had burnt the black man. I thought the
Nah.
black man was the, and then I looked at it again. I was like, oh, okay. But either way, yeah, we're definitely doing it. But what do y'all think about that? Like, how do you think people like actually feel about the fact that it was a black man that set a white man on fire?
They don't care.
You don't think they care? Well, they haven't said anything, so yeah, you're right. They don't care.
Yeah.
They
Especially
don't
those,
care.
they're probably just
Kind
like,
of sad. Kind of
they're
sad.
like, it's
You know
kind of
what
wild
they're
to be there,
gonna
but
do?
they probably don't care, which is a sad thing.
They don't,
I don't
because here's why they don't care. Because it wasn't an act of political rebellion. They're gonna make this black man seem like the worst human being on earth.
I mean, he is though, because I mean, anybody that like just runs up on somebody and just throws gasoline on him, like you premeditated it, even though it wasn't that you knew he would be there, but you had the gasoline, which meant that you were going to do it to somebody. So that is
it's
technically
premeditated.
like
But
you
see,
thought
That's the
about
thing.
it.
They don't even need to use the fact that it was a white man.
No, and I
That's
know
what I'm
that.
saying.
No,
They
it could have
don't
been
care
a
that it was
white
a
man, and this would have
yeah.
been a
It's just the
horrendous
fact that it was a
act.
black man that walked around and burnt somebody up. That's all they need. That's
With an
that's
accelerant.
the little bit of chum them sharks need to feed. That's all.
Yeah.
And they don't. It could have been a
Sad.
Honduran man that was an immigrant, a cold criminal. Oh, this black man burnt someone. That's all we need.
Yeah.
That's all we need. He could have been a drug dealer that he burnt up. That's all we need. He's black. Get him up out of here. That's all. They don't care who he burnt.
Like I have a friend that is homeless, but even though he has money, but it's more of he has a mental illness that keeps him from like, being able to work and stuff. But
That
this
shouldn't
kind of
keep
stuff
him
makes
from
me
living,
worry
though.
about him out there in the woods.
That shouldn't
is
keep
he getting
him
help
from living.
through the city for his mental?
I think so. I think he has like a little card or something from them, from like the city here. But I think right now he's not outside. I think that he's like with someone from the last time that we spoke with him. He's like with somebody.
God bless.
But
I'll be praying for
he
him.
stayed here before. So like it just makes me worry. Like, is somebody going to be stupid like your friend and go around and splash my friend with like some gasoline and light him on fire because
he's in prison. He's never come.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean that there's somebody else out there that can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like, because when the boy, when I heard like why he did it, because we didn't hear it from the news, we got it from like his family why he did it. Apparently, he got laced with PCP in his weed one day.
Oh, jeez.
Instead of staying away from it,
he
became addicted to it. That opened up a whole part of his mind that made him think that he could interpret shadows,
he was like
demons, and it made him see whatever that homeless man was for a demon, and was like, I want to set that on fire. But he had the intention of setting someone on fire because he walked with that can of gasoline and that lighter for a while. Yeah, he walked from Minnesota to 8th Street. Now, if you know where Minnesota Avenue is,
I know exactly where that is.
You gotta walk over the bridge.
Like, that's a long walk.
He was searching for his demon.
He was searching for the demon. You are right. But I wonder, like, I definitely see mental illness in this whole entire case. Like, like you don't just run up and just do that as a normal thinking human being. You don't do that. So
but right now,
barrier as a normal human, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't wake up and
that's
just say,
strange. Like, shoot. I hope that's all homeless people. Okay, let me not laugh. Okay, so our next topic is talking about what Suge calls the baby Karen, because she actually is a baby Karen. She decided that she was going to get nuck and buck with her black teacher. And you know what's disgusting is that like nobody expelled her, because like if that was me getting,
hold on,
she wasn't expelled at first until the video appeared. And I don't
That's
know
what
if she's expelled, but I know I don't think she's in the school right now. But they weren't going to do anything until like the video surfaced online. I'm sitting here like, when I cussed at the security guard, I got suspended for a week, and she touched me. Okay, she touched me.
None of those black kids in there thought to protect that grandma teacher.
No.
That's what I was wondering.
And she was
too. Like, where
They
black
look
kids
at that
at?
old lady and be like, "That's my grandma right there."
No, no solidarity, especially when it's a teacher.
Yeah, like I don't like that. And
Like,
then
I don't care if I hated my teacher. I'm not about to watch you beat up no old lady.
yeah, but my thing is this: her mom was trying to say, "Oh, she has autism and depression and anxiety and something else, or was it depression, anxiety, and autism?" I believe that's what was in the article. I'm
and she
sitting
said
here
she
like,
was
okay, I
trying
have
to.
depression, I have anxiety. Oh, she had bipolar disorder,
And she'd have had a concussion too.
well, I'm not. And let me tell you, I'm not out here being wild. Okay, I'm not. Unless you put your hands on me, then I can activate. But I'm not just gonna be going around.
Activate.
Like, no, I will activate. Like, I have my days when I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm actually a calm person, but please don't activate me. But like, she's just going like saying this black teacher's pissing me off and all that. I would have lost my job. I would have had to slap the taste out of her mouth. Like, are you serious?
Piss me the fuck off. Like, come on.
These
And her mom was just like, oh, well, I mean, that's where these little dumbass little school shooters are coming from. These badass
But
little
see,
kids getting away with shit. Because what's going to be next? Her doing something
the
even
mom,
worse than cussing and hitting on her teacher. What?
my thing is the mom been telling the school that she needs to be tested to get her into SPED because of all the issues that she does have. My thing is that as a parent of a special needs child, I fought for my daughter to be where she's at. I fight for her once or twice a year, every year, since she was 3. She'd been going to school. My thing is that as a parent, if your school is not putting your child where it needs to be, then you need to go somewhere else. You need to talk to somebody else. Don't just stop right there and be like, well, they keep telling me that they're not going to put her in there. Oh my God.
Well,
No.
maybe they go by like the neighborhood zones or whatever it is. How do they do like school district?
So I have my son is autistic.
Okay.
My twin daughters are premature. So all 3 of my children are actually supposed to be in special ed. This year they're not. They're not like behind educational wise, but they do need extra help. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing that they have the issues they have, me being a person that suffers from actual, like, I don't know if this girl really suffers from bipolar anxiety, depression. I'm not going to say she does or doesn't, but as a person that actually suffers from that has been suffering from that since a child, a person that suffers from manic depressive disorder, a person that suffers from schizoaffective disorder with psychotic tendencies, a person that has a lot of disorders. Like I'm like as an adult, I'm diagnosed. There's a lot wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? This is why I enjoy life. I try to smile so much. I try to find the joy in everything because again, my mind can go in dark places for no reason at all. Even when I was in school, I've definitely had my bad days where I couldn't control my emotions. Yes. But I never was the type to get up and want to beat up on a teacher. I respected my teacher. I grew up in a time where the teacher was a part of the community. And to see this child get this excuse, because it is an excuse for me. Because when that child hits 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, it's not going to be looked at as a disorder anymore. You're just a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So I growing up, me having mental disorders was not an excuse for stuff that I did. I still had the wherewithal to know right from wrong. I chose to do wrong, and I got consequences that coincided with that. She needs consequences that coincide with that. She needs probably to be sent off to juvie, and like a real juvie, not some pretty prissy girl school, some real juvie. And let her, like, you know what I'm saying? She's had to experience, like,
what I heard recently, those little prissy schools are not as prissy as we think they are. They're actually like hellholes and make them.
Oh yeah, no, juvie. A lot of juvies are terrible, but what I say that because the mental health argument is a loophole for a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I know this because it was personally used on me. At 14 years old, police ran into my house. They went into my room. They got an anonymous tip that I had a few guns. There was a war going on in my neighborhood. They ended up coming to my house 8 in the morning, guns pointed, pulled out a bunch of guns out of my closet. Same time, pulled out some drugs.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, 14 years old.
Why did you have that at 14?
I was.
The streets could be rough.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't even that the streets were rough. It was that because I wasn't the guy. Like in my neighborhood, no one even knew that I was even on that type of time. I wasn't that guy in the neighborhood. It was because at that time I had a craving for violence. But the loophole that was used to keep me from going to juvenile and sending me to a mental hospital for children and then a group home was my mental disorders. It was bipolar. It was in my childhood record that I have an affinity for guns and knives. I have an addiction to them. And I do. I have to keep them away from me because I'll start collecting them and I get guns hold spirits and I don't like having. So the loophole kept a person that at the time, even though it kind of kept me away from the streets, I was still able, once I got to a group home, I was still able to do what I wanted to do. But instead of keeping someone who realistically shouldn't have been on the streets at that age out of the streets, they used a loophole to put me in a situation that only sedated me and then threw me back out to the streets to allow me to do what I wanted to do again. All they're going to do with that girl is the same thing. They're going to put her in a mental hospital, put her in a group home, send her back to her family, and she's still going to be as fucked up as before. She needs to be somewhere where her consequences have consequences. She needs to be somewhere where her choices have a reality check for her. You beat up an old Black woman. You're a criminal. You need to go to juvenile with these criminals. And you're going to meet a Black girl in there that's going to look at her like, that was my grandma. I seen this. Oh, she ain't here. Oh, we're going to come get her. And it's going to get bad. But, you know, she's white. She's blonde. She's blue-eyed. It's not going to happen.
Well, I hope that they send her somewhere because that kind of like attitude and acting like a wild animal, like that.
That was the attitude of no one.
Entitlement. It was entitled attitude. Like a lot. It's ridiculous because like her mom tried to say, oh, I don't even know where she got these words from. Either
home, it starts at the home.
You know, home is her troll ass friends.
Her friends, and that's why I
just don't say that your kids don't pick up on shit, and like the friends they have are gonna be fucking little racists on the internet. Like that shit doesn't just stay on the internet.
And it's not even just I was about to say it's not even just the internet, but like I believe it was probably her friends. If her mom claims she doesn't talk like that at home, it's the friends that your daughter is hanging with, and you might want to take her away from them, or you might want to move. I think the best thing for them right now is to probably move, because now Black people are going to be at your door. Because there's some little Black girl that knows exactly where your daughter lives.
She
They bring
lives.
all the Black people to your house just because your daughter can't control herself. If you knew she had these problems, you should have found, I'm going to be honest, she should have found a school that just specialized in that instead of sending her in there with all these other kids that are going to be progressing faster than her. And now she's frustrated. And now she's taking her frustration out on the damn Black teacher. And that's not fair. Now the Black teacher, she's probably traumatized because now put this crazy white child in her class that's acting up and acting like she ain't got no sense in home training. Y'all got, like, these parents need to start, like, for some kids, I will say you might want to have to 2-3 piece them. And that's one of those kids you need to do it to. Because if I've seen the 2-3 piece work on a kid that was acting like a fool. So I know it works. And I believe with all my heart that she needs to get her ass whooped.
I think she got some of that from her mom. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be saying, oh, I'm going to just call my mom and then call your mom up and let her know what's going, you know.
And the way she was,
this Black teacher pissed me off.
Like, it was just like, what?
I have this theory. I don't really even think these little white kids are racist. I think that there is a culture in the white community that we aren't actually privy to yet, that it's edgy to seem racist. Like, this is some shit they can brag to their friends about. Oh, hey, Becky, did you see me call that Black person a nigger and get away with? Like, it's some cool points.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're actually like
and it's
racist.
like, oh, I can't say that. No, you can't say that.
Yeah, but they know they can't. But the reason they do it is because it gets cool points in their community. It's like back in the day, robbing a motherfucker, give you cool points in your community. In the white community, oh yeah, I called that Black person nigger, coon, and all of that. They didn't do nothing. They were scared. Oh man, he's tough. He's a cracker among crackers. He's a
so he needs the right Black person. So you need the right one, because there's a lot of people out here that will knock you straight in your teeth for saying something like that. It's just not cute. It's not even cute.
It's not. It's not.
It's not cute. And she thought it was cute. And
she did.
It must have been a class of Black people. It had to.
She knew she went viral on TikTok and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's funny that, like, so many white parents want to keep, like, critical race theory isn't even something children get taught. It's for people in college. But it's funny that just any idea of accurately teaching your children about racism or about the history of racism in this country is something that's such a problem for so many parents. When, like, your kids literally act out like this. Kids will literally call someone who looks like a grandma who's their teacher, someone who fucking is up in a mask, probably doesn't want to have to be in a mask for a classroom, but has to for the fact that we're living through COVID. Like, is still calling them like, oh, because they're Black, ma, but also like, well, I didn't say nigger, so it wasn't racist. It's like, all right, like,
just because they're still racist.
Don't be racist. Let's be educated.
They won't teach their kids about racism because they're racist.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's
and they don't want their children to be like, ooh, my race is like evil, or
they don't want to feel bad about it.
Yes, you might be.
Well,
You might grow up to be a little evil little motherfucker. I don't know. But you might get the critical race theory and you might be like, you know what, I want to make a change. But maybe they're afraid of the ones that are like, oh yeah, I want to make a change. You know, they don't want it to change. They want it to stay the same, where they feel like they are on top, but they're not. Because y'all take everything from everybody, all like TikTok dances, songs, beats, types of music. Y'all have been stealing that shit from Black people for years. You don't want your kids to know that Black people made rock and roll. Huh? Is that it? Is that it? Because it's heavy metal. It's heavy metal. Y'all don't need to know that we made it.
I mean, they don't care at this point. They stuff. I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, they care. They care enough to be protesting about it. They care enough for that.
This is what I think white people. This is how I think they've always worked. They'll steal something from another culture. They'll whitewash it for X amount of years. And then they'll eventually let the news drop that it wasn't really us that made it, it was them. But by that time, they're so known for it. You knowing that information does nothing because it's ours now. We don't mind telling you that we stole it from them because when you think about it, you think of us. It's now weirder for something that was created from Black people, rock music. It's weird to see an all Black rock band. That's an oddity in 2021.
People, it would be weird, yeah.
In 2021.
Those who wants to make an all rock album, they're like, you sure you want to do an all rock album?
Me and my homie in high school wanted to start a rock band. We were told by both of our hoods, don't do it. Never know where we could have went. We really
should have did it.
We should have. We're like 30 now. It would seem.
I mean, Jared Leto still got red jumpsuit apparatus.
I mean, but Jared Leto was a star, is a star, and was a star.
But no, before he was he doing acting? No, he started red jumpsuit apparatus before he started acting.
But red jumpsuit apparatus got big because of his acting career.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you have it.
And then he was young. Like Jared Leto was young. I think he's only in his mid-30s.
Yeah, he's young. Yes.
So he's a little bit older than me.
But I mean, it's a lot of people out here that would look. I think we traveling away.
Good. Oh no, we definitely see. I like it that some of the Black people in power are kind of taking advantage of their power for Black people. Like that's making me sort of happy because I'm like, okay, if you can take the little bit of power that they're giving you and do something for us, that means that something can be done for us. You know what I'm saying? Like being real, I'm like people like Jay-Z, people like what was that guy's name? I'll just draw a blank.
I think my thing is doing things. Okay, I figured it. I'm sorry, I was trying to fix it. It was like, and I was like, and it's doing it again. Do y'all see it? Do you guys see that? Because I'm about to edit this part out. Do you guys see that? It keeps like, do you see it like when it freezes?
Like pauses like that?
You said what?
And like pauses like that for like a half second?
You said what?
No, you can't hear me? I said when it like pauses like that while you're...
Yeah. Okay, so you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
Is that me? Oh, shit.
That's you.
That's me. I'm about to edit this whole entire part out. It's gonna stop when you stop talking, but yeah, because I don't want them to be like, what is wrong with her?
Oh, that was my favorite bucket.
I do want to add one thing though. I do think, should tell what your thoughts on this. I think one reason they don't want white people to unlearn racism is because as long as they're able to have that cheat code in society, they're never going to unpack all the other shit that also hurts them too. Like classism, like sexism, like homophobia, like the other things that impact members of their society. As long as they know that they're still supreme in some way, that the system benefits them in this way, you don't have any reason to start changing things that could make you lose that power, even if it would help balance out and bring equity into society.
And that's what I'm saying is like, they don't want things to change because
we gotta understand that racism is changing for everyone but us.
Yeah, sadly.
They're not racist to the world anymore. They're just racist. So they're not. Even the Arabs have gotten significantly less racism over the years.
They get less loud racism. The racism for everyone else is definitely like just for Black people, like how our racism is coded in laws, but every time we rise up, they get a little more louder. Like just like for other races that kind of, I won't say piggyback off of our movements, but like we'll be able to use the slipstream to like come up.
Them niggas leapfrog and backflip over.
That's exactly what they want.
Their racism is just like propaganda. Like for example, you know, like maybe Arabs here, like there's people who are Middle Eastern still get surveilled at their mosque and everything like that. It's just they're not loud about it. They don't want like people to talk too much about it. But like when Trump was whole president, they had a whole Muslim ban and just was what it was.
Yeah.
And they counted, and you know what they
The
did? They
Asian people, look
swept
at
it under the
the-
rug.
They sure did. But I
They
never
swept
forgot
it.
because I'm Muslim, so I never
Yeah.
forgot about that ban. That was
Yeah,
fuck.
they swept it under the rug. They said, okay, we're doing the Muslim ban, set it for a couple of weeks, couple of little interviews, and then after that, it was back on Black Lives Matter in the Mexicans.
Yeah, but with every other race, they do it quietly. It's just either propaganda or it's like little surveillance or like imprisonment shit.
I'd rather have that than killing us in the middle of the streets.
Cold War with them.
Yeah, which is why, like you said, wait, it was you that said something. You know what?
All I'm saying is, like, I'd rather have that sort of racism than the racism we have right now.
We got
Because
both.
the racism we have
both.
is, it is okay to shoot a black man in the middle of the street and you can get away with it.
Yep.
If they were to go shoot any Asian or Pacific Islander, any Arab American, there would be an uproar.
Heck yeah.
But
Well,
if you go
because
shoot a
the
nigga,
racism
you
is
might get
different.
rewarded. You might go
Wait.
get Burger King when you get arrested.
I think Suge. So there's actually a case here about the police. Damn, what's this thing doing? Sorry, because it's freezing. The thing, it's freezing it. Oh, goodness. So there's a case here about the guy that was killed by the police down on the National Mall. Like, what was it, like 2 months ago? They got terminated. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if he's Arab, but he looks like it.
I don't remember they had an active shooter down there.
But he wasn't, I don't think he was a shooter. That's the thing, because I think he was unarmed. Or like he had gotten into an accident and they chased him. And I believe they shot him. Like,
I didn't hear about this.
You didn't hear about that? Oh, geez.
I heard the last thing I remember happening around Navy Yard is
I
the
think they
active
chased
shooter.
him on. And they chased him instead of the person that actually hit him. And I'm sitting here like, did that make sense? And see, now y'all fired. Because y'all killed that man.
But do you see what I mean? The last thing I remember being on the news for Navy Yard was the active shooter.
No, we're not
This
talking about
happened 2 months ago.
We're not talking about this part.
I didn't see anything on my news feed on
This
Twitter.
happened like maybe
Instagram.
August. I want to say August this happened because it was like summertime.
Yeah, I've seen nothing of this. No news, anything. And I have Apple News on my phone and it's tied to local news around here and all of that.
Definitely look it up once we're done. But
Oh yeah, of course. Please send me that link because it brings my point. They sweep it under the rug, but they get it taken care of. Black people, they'll make I think it's a torture method. They make a big song and dance when a black person gets killed in what we feel is an injustice type of way because they want to torture us. They want us to feel that pain.
Yeah.
And then when they let the guy get off, it's just digging that knife a little deeper. It's a psychological torture thing.
Well, it's torture for us, and it's also like a rallying cry or props, like other white supremacists out there being like, hey man, don't worry, we're still doing a good cause out here.
Yeah, we don't gotta keep killing. We don't gotta go to war with them. We can fuck them up. You kill them, we'll put them on TV.
Yeah, and it continues to further division. Like there will be no way that we'll be able to organize with people as long as they're still rooting for our deaths and demise and like us being put in our place.
We gotta stop wanting to be put in our. We gotta get to a point where we are willing to die for our respect.
But to get a whole, like you can get some people to be down with that, like a militant side of people, but like
it's not a
so much of
militant
Black
thing.
survival is just like keeping an eye on the progress ahead.
But what progress?
That's the point.
Legitimately.
Oh, I'm
since
sorry.
That's okay. Legitimately, since we've been free,
Yeah.
what progress have we had as Black people?
I'm looking for the link. I'm sorry.
Representation mostly. I mean, things are still
What's this
done in
representation?
slavery, but at the same time, because white supremacy still is coupled with classism and there's still poverty for our people.
Tryst,
It's tied with all these other chain
Tryst.
links of oppression.
Tryst,
Like,
it's a simple question.
Freedom some of us get still limits others.
Tryst, it's a simple question.
Yeah.
As a people, since we have been free,
Mhm.
what progress have we made?
Not much.
Mostly
What progress have we been allowed to make?
Yeah. They'll let some niggas get famous, they'll let some niggas get rich. So
No,
that
they
niggas will wanna
get
change
they
those
get to
systems.
be
We're
the
not stopping,
they
white
get to
supremacy.
be the slave masters' entertainment.
Yeah.
Why do you think it when black stars go big, they go white?
Yeah.
They don't go big off the black audience. The black audience is your door in. You entertaining the slaves. Oh, that nigga over there funny. Oh, that nigga can dance. Oh, that nigga can jump high.
Yeah, same with
And
me.
let's show the slave master.
I
Oh, you
remember
entertain the slave masters? Let's take you around and entertain the other slave masters. That's the mentality of it. People don't see that. We're not free. We have just been turned into, look, I'm not trying to quote Kanye, but we have been turned into new slaves. We have been given the curse of luxury. And luxury through the government, luxury through subsidized housing, luxury through food stamps, luxury
But
through
not,
the
but
idea
most
of black people
on
can
food
only
stamps
make
aren't
it
even
to.
black though.
You said what?
The most percentage of people on food stamps and welfare and all that luxury that you're talking about, they not
That
even
is
black.
facts. But do you want to know who it's mostly promoted to? Us. To keep us. They don't mind that it's more white people on there because you want to know what's even more? The white people that's not on it. But you want to know what is good for them? Promoting it only to the black people.
I think
All the welfare buildings are not in well-to-do white neighborhoods.
everybody.
Yeah, but that's by design. Like, we should have more government support for people to reduce poverty, but by setting it a certain way, it's almost propaganda against doing anything for the poor.
Look, let me
Why do you want support from the same government that is actively trying to kill you?
Because if you're paying taxes into a system, if a system that should owe you reparations, if you're paying
the rules go out the window when they're trying to kill you.
I get
You're
both
talking
of
about taxes. They're trying to kill you. They don't give a fuck
But I'm
about
saying, as long as we're here, they're
taxes.
gonna try to kill us. As long as we're here, they're gonna try and police us. I'm the same one who says that black capitalism is not gonna save us, and we need to divest from
So
this
you're
system and from
okay.
classism. But we have to recognize that all of this is interconnected, or else we're gonna be fighting small little fires everywhere.
Hold up, let me say this because we gotta take a break. And
Yeah, because of time, yeah.
So when it comes to like welfare and government assistance, that's really only supposed to be. That's what I was always told. My mom said, if you are to ever have to do that, use it as a stepping stone because you're not supposed to be on it forever. But I can see how people can sit around and be like, I get paid to do nothing. And they're just like, okay, I'll just sit here and collect my little check and do.
Oh yeah, I see people
but
pulling up and
a stepping stone. You're supposed to be like, okay, let me and sometimes you can just put the money somewhere and you can be working because you can work and still get assistance and stuff. But it's like people tend to just not use it to their advantage, if you guys know what I mean. Like invest that shit.
stop, Jack.
Yeah, but
Like the little cash stuff,
Mhm.
invest it. Take a little bit out and put it somewhere where it's going to build. Instead, people, they decide, because especially the environment that's around them, it's like everybody's like down, depressed, they ain't got a lot. So they're like, okay, well, I'm kind of down, I'm depressed. So they end up using liquor and drugs to numb themselves, and they end up just staying in the cycle.
Yeah, well, when you have a country that you don't have universal health care, it's very easy to like self-medicate.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you don't have affordable housing, it's very easy for you to try and glom onto whatever kind of assistance you can get. I'm not against assistance. I believe there should be a universal basic income. I do believe that there should be more forms of assistance for people, but we are going to have to actually like tax the fuck out of billionaires or rewire the whole way that's gonna work. So there's no reason over 50% of our money goes to like the military to do what? Have bases all over the world?
Because they ain't doing shit. I'm sorry, cousin. I know y'all do stuff, but y'all ain't really doing it.
Hey,
Can I like? I always want to understand people's like faith in trying to change.
I don't have faith in the system, but I feel like we need to take
have faith in the system.
Nobody
There's
has.
going to be citizens
That's
here,
what I'm saying.
like they're gonna tax us, and if we're gonna get our
Because we accept it.
we might as well
You
go.
see how you accept that?
Except what?
They're going to tax us. You just accept it. As if history hasn't shown.
Those are things that's supposed to be like infrastructure.
Yeah, it goes to road, it goes to
people-
military, it goes to
Everybody can still.
firefighters. Why doesn't it also go to take care of the people who need it most? Why is
People-
why is more of our money going to subsidies for like corporations and billionaires rather than to subsidize the people actually having better lives? That's my thing.
Because
like,
the people in power don't want to do it.
I think it's getting ready to cut.
And you're not going to change the people in power by voting the people they put in front of you.
But that's what I'm saying. It requires
Freedom.
It
requires destroying the system.
Protesting and divesting from the system.
Men,
Yes.
let's take a break. Take a break. Except what?
They're going to tax us. You just accept it. As if history hasn't shown.
Those are things that's supposed to be like infrastructure.
Yeah, it goes to road, it goes to military.
Everybody can still.
Why doesn't it also go to take care of the people who need it most? Why is more of our money going to subsidies for like corporations and billionaires rather than to subsidize the people actually having better lives? That's my thing.
Because the people in power don't want to do it.
I think it's getting ready to cut.
And you're not going to change the people in power by voting the people they put in front of you.
But that's what I'm saying. It requires
freedom.
It requires destroying the system.
Protesting and divesting from the system.
Men,
yes.
let's take a break. Take a break.
The success that I've had this year has been a blessing, and I'm thankful for that because it has allowed me to full-time run a business, make money, profit, not just be able to pay bills, but be able to pay bills and splurge. So that's a blessing. And yeah, I'm pretty thankful for all the people I've lost this year. I'm thankful for them. So they help me focus my vision. And without having those people around, I've been able to do a lot more and gain a lot more than I would have having them around. That sounds shady as hell.
It's not shady because I feel the same way.
Yeah, I get it, but like if you kill them all, that would be funny.
I mean,
Yeah, fuck them all.
fuck them all.
That's the nicest way to say that. I'm saying fuck you all.
But no, I get what you mean. Life definitely narrows the path for you and has put you on the right path.
Yeah.
I would say I'm thankful for some pretty similar, starting to get my health together, having friends and family that I really like, really fuck with, family, even when it's not exactly family. You know, you feel me? But that, especially the work that the different groups I'm with is doing for people in the community, people who don't have as much. I'm grateful for the way, like, there's a way that all of them are starting to come together to do things. And I want to see stuff like that continue to grow. And I'm also thankful for this. I'm thankful for a space, like, I've had people talking to me for, like, since the pandemic started, like, oh, I should, like, do a podcast or something. I was like, I don't know, but all that. But, like, I always felt like I don't want to be just sitting there just talking and rambling for how long. I need people that I can, like, bounce off of, and I love that I have this space with y'all here to do that with.
That was sweet.
Yes. Look, I know I forgot to say it, but yes, I am thankful for my co-hosts because without them, without you guys, there would be not your normal discussion. So, yes. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is dope. I like this. Like Tryst said, I don't get a lot of people I can just talk to about stuff other than my brother. So like having people I can actually talk to is pretty dope. It's very dope, not pretty dope. It's very dope.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
Yay, awesome. Okay, so promotion time, you guys. So, of course, as I talk about every week, I have my book out and I have my blog, Queen Pedii Writes. I forgot to mention last week that I am doing a fundraiser for the House of Ruth in DC. It is through One Hope Fund, and I want to hit my goal of at least $100, you guys. So start buying wine. The wine is good, I promise y'all. You only need 1 cup, and you're good. At least for me. But it's great. It's great. A great company to work with that I've been working with for a while. So, Lord have mercy. Okay. So I want to show off these awesome sunglasses from Eye Shady. I will be putting the link in the description, you guys. So these are a new arrival, and these are called Dangerous and Beautiful People. Try to keep my glasses cute, y'all. So these are called Dangerous. Yes. I fell in love with these because I was like, oh my God, they look so cool.
Yeah.
So yes, and they're like really sexy. I love like all of the options. I have like 2 more that I got. They are having a black, are they having a Black Friday sale? They're having a sale. Okay. So get them while you can. Get them, you guys, get them. Because these glasses are like awesome. So I want to let you guys know about who did my awesome herbal manicure, a cleaning business. She gives herbal manicures, sells waist beads, ankle bracelets. But a cleaning business, hit them up for herbal manicure or some waist beads because I know I'm about to hit her up for some waist beads on this Black Friday, honey.
I know, I never have anything to promote. Just want to say thank you all for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of food. Fuck your dad for at least one day. Yeah, and stop doing stupid shit, people.
Especially during the holidays.
Right?
Especially during the holidays. Like, stop it. Drink some milk. Take a nap. You'll be all right.
That's right. Sure.
So I want to promote, I'm doing work with the East Village Mutual Aid, done work with the Washington Square Park Mutual Aid, and they're going to be sending people over to help with what BelieveNY is doing. Let me get it right. Let me know what I'm going to
Up.
That's how you show it.
No. Like I meant like actually lift it up a little bit and then put it close.
Okay.
No, lift up.
Back it up. No, that's perfect. Down a little bit. Down a little bit. Right there. That is perfect.
Now,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
We're doing Thanksgiving Drive. There'll be links below to donate if you want. If you're in the New York area, Manhattan area, you want to come out, be in Thompson Square on the Lower East Side on Sunday, 1 to 4. Volunteers are coming at 11:30. So let's go out. Let's help the people in our community. Let's make a difference. And again, like everyone said, don't be stupid. The holidays is not a time for you to fuck up everything. It's a time for celebration, reflection, and chilling. Don't make it a bad day, make it a good day. But yes, love y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful for y'all coming and supporting what we're doing.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you for watching us and continuing to watch us. We definitely appreciate it. And I hope that you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving.
Good question.
Hey.
All right, guys. See you later.
Love y'all.
All right. Love y'all.
This is not your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored. This is not your normal discussion. This is not your normal discussion.